and he slapped the phone out of the driver's hand when the driver tried to make a phone call. What was not. Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So another MAGA man has been arrested. Oh, you guys are so shocked at this point. So this guy harassed and verbally assaulted and essentially held two Hispanic men against their will. So luckily, the passenger in this vehicle, as you're going to see, they recorded this interaction. So when the police arrived, they knew exactly who the alleged criminal was. And spoiler alert, it was not the men speaking Spanish. It was the entitled gringo. So check this out.
You got caught, Mo. Where you from? Mexico? You from Mexico? You're going back to Mexico.
Parky?
No, you cannot drive, Bo. You have not a license. You have no license. We're going back. We got the cops coming, Bo. If you don't got a driver's license, you can't drive a vehicle. You know that, right? You know, if you don't have a license, you cannot drive a car in the United States. No, it's over. It's over. Hey, El Chapo.
Hey. Ya valí madre, no sé, güey. Dice que la migra. Aquí en la Atlantic 20.
Don't be speaking that pig Latin in my country, bro. We speaking that pig Latin here. This is America. We speak English in America.
Ya me quitó la llave, me quitó todo, güey.
We speak English. English. Habla English? No.
Dile.
You mad? You mad? You upset? This is my job. This is my truck. I own this country.
Drive on.
No. They're coming. The cops are coming. He doesn't even have a license. He doesn't have a license. I got his key. I got his key.
So that racist Trump supporter was 33-year-old South Carolina resident Sean Michael Emmerich Johnson. And for those listening to the podcast, I'll just kind of give you a brief summation. There were two Hispanic-looking men. They were sitting in a truck. This guy physically snatches the keys away from the driver, and he slapped the phone out of the driver's hand when the driver tried to make a phone call. So he literally prevented them from leaving the scene, trying to get away from him. And the whole time, they're just sitting there. They're not fighting back. They're not saying anything to him. And they're, pretty much just staring ahead, at least the driver that you can see in the frame, and then you can only see a partial angle on the passenger. And then at the end, it was hard to make out what he was saying, but Emmerich Johnson is seen talking to an older man. This older man walks up, starts to talk to him, and then he kind of drags him away from the truck. And then based on the captions, he apparently said to this older man, quote, "He doesn't have a license. I got his key. And according to the news outlet, this video went on for more time. It went on for an additional 2 minutes or more past what I showed you. So Emmerich Johnson is the one who actually called the police because he thought he was going to get these men in the truck in trouble and he was going to get them deported. So instead, I am more than happy to announce Emmerich Johnson was arrested, and he has been charged with numerous crimes. So here's the follow-up that Live 5 News reported and shared.
Officers have identified the man in that video is 33-year-old Sean Michael Emmerich Johnson. Johnson has been charged with a felony count of kidnapping, impersonating a law enforcement officer, larceny or fraudulent removal, or secreting a personal property, and third-degree assault and battery. He was denied bond and is currently being held at the Charleston County Jail.
Now to an NBC 10 exclusive. Today we are hearing from the 8-year-old girl who says she was lured into a stranger's home while out playing with friends yesterday in North Philadelphia. That luring led to a barricade situation, which ended with the man giving himself up to police and left a neighborhood on edge. NBC 10's Aaron Baskerville spoke with the girl and her mother today and joins us live from North Philadelphia with more on this. Aaron.
Jackie, an unbelievable story. First of all, this little girl is amazing. She's in good spirits. Actually, let's take a look. She's right over here. Wave to the camera, Fades. That's her. Thankfully, she's doing okay. Right now, we are behind some of the homes here near 20th and Nedro, kind of set the scene. This is where it all happened yesterday afternoon. Kids were playing out here in some of the yards over here, just a whole bunch of kids having a good time, just enjoying themselves. And then things took a turn. That's when police say a man just a few doors down tried to lure Phage into the house. Was he pulling you into the house?
Yes, like this.
And what were you saying?
I was like, help, help. But nobody didn't hear me.
And once you were inside, besides this, you were okay though, right?
Yes, he locked the door and I unlocked, and he told me to go upstairs and I didn't want to.
And you didn't?
Yeah, no.
Phage Merricks is brave and wanted to share her story this afternoon. It had been less than 24 hours after investigators say a man lured the 8-year-old into his house when we caught up with the 3rd grader walking home with mom. When you went inside the house, was he saying anything to you when you went inside that first time?
He was grabbing me and stuff. That's why I got the scratch and that's why I got this. You scratched me and you made me hit something.
According to police, the girl's neighbor, who lives a few doors down, lured Phage into a home near 20th and Nedro in North Philadelphia. Her mother, Nigel Bullock, tells NBC 10 the man asked her daughter to come inside the house and wake up his young son. Once there, she says he locked the doors. Do you think he was really trying to do something bad with your daughter?
Yes, I do. I wholeheartedly do.
Your mom told me you were really, really brave and got out of the house. Yeah. Talk to me. How did you get out of the house?
I unlocked the door. I unlocked it without outside grab it. It was locked. I unlocked it and then I just got out and then he just shut the door.
She got out, but Bullock claims the man still tried luring the little girl back inside the home a second time shortly after. That's when Bullock says she went to his house to confront him, pepper spraying him and calling 911. Investigators say the man would then fire shots and barricade himself inside. NBC 10 was there when officers caught him. I'm so glad that you're okay.
Me too. Everybody was at school saying, I'm happy you're okay, and I was like, thank you.
Yeah, such a brave little girl. Once again, she is doing okay tonight. She was not injured while inside the house. Also, police saying that nobody else was injured when all of those shots were fired yesterday afternoon. As for that suspect, we're still waiting to hear about any charges. We do know that there was another child inside the house.
Say that somebody was coming into our church and they're black.
I'm not a pastor, but I feel like that would be a preferable scenario.
Would they be eligible for membership in our church?
Please say yes.
Yes, they of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church.
Oh, thank God. I think the video's over now.
But would they be permitted
Don't.
to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call black culture generally in our church?
Oh, damn.
The answer is absolutely not.
I'm guessing you're going to elaborate.
Why? Because the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete.
How long do you think he was waiting to call black people Cretans?
They are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people.
Bro, you have a dead rodent on your face.
They steal, they kill, they destroy. They're sinful to the core.
Are we listening to this?
They have besetting sins that are like fatherlessness, sexual immorality. They molest children at a high rate.
We're gonna talk about black people molesting children at a high rate. You're a Christian pastor.
All of any criminal statistic that you could look at, almost pretty much without exception, they excel at them.
This video goes on for a while, but I'm gonna stop there. I just need you to see what kind of things are coming up in this country. That guy that you just saw is this guy, Pastor Brian Sauve. He's the pastor of Refuge Church in Ogden, Utah. And he's a compatriot of this man, Doug Wilson, a pastor in Moscow, Idaho. I say pastor, but it's like a cult situation, you know? And you probably recognize Doug Wilson. You remember Doug Wilson, the pastor that Pete Hegseth platformed a few months ago, who was saying that women shouldn't be able to vote? This is what Christian nationalism is. This is what Christian nationalism wants. These are Christian nationalists. These guys are only going to get louder. They used to be relegated to like little corners of the internet, but they are now getting platformed by the Secretary of War. Like, let's say that somebody was coming into our church and they're black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call black culture generally in our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they destroy, they are sin.
And I don't want to hear we took him out of context, because now your little mini Kirks are coming out of the woodwork. I don't want to hear we took him out of context, because he said what he said. Steal, kill, and what? So when someone says that they're black and Christian, because y'all don't like our culture, y'all don't like us as a people, but y'all claim to be Christian. Because y'all are love to go pick on the homosexuals, go pick on everybody else who have abortions and all this type of stuff, but you won't deal with your inherent racism. Oh, we can fight every other sin, but let's not talk about the racism. Yeah, okay. These are y'all pastors. But racism is a social construct, and it's not real. Really? Oh.
Almost. Let's say that somebody was coming into our church and they're black, and would they be eligible for membership in our church? Yes, of course they would. They'd be eligible for membership in our church. But would they be permitted to participate in, embody, and practice what I would call black culture generally in our church? The answer is absolutely not. Why? Because the characteristics that mark black culture as a generalization, in the same way Paul's talking about Cretans on Crete, they are evil, murderous, violent, bestial people. They steal, they kill, they destroy, they are sinful to the core.
Okay, so apparently we're just saying the quiet part out loud.
Okay, now, what they're saying is that the only church, okay, now, how are they going to give you a church and teach you something in church, and all the church teaching somebody something different? Now, they'd accept you in their church, but they ain't going to accept. See, it don't make sense even going to church. Don't even go to church. Just Bible in your mind. You see what I'm saying? Now, you look here. You're talking about what the black community doing. And now they're getting mad because the man said he's going to send people to their neighborhoods. But you look at here, like he said. Now,
Would even try. So let's talk about what culture is. Put simply, culture is a set of beliefs and patterns and symbols that basically sum up how a group of people views and interacts with the world.
Sure.
According to this guy, that includes violence and murder and acting like an animal. That's what bestial means. But of course, anybody who's ever interacted with black people or just has a number of working brain cells that's not in the single digits, you know that the majority of black people are just regular citizens. So even though this type of antisocial behavior is definitely a problem in black communities, it's still something most black people don't engage in. And if you're going to define a group of people by something that most of them don't do, that's not describing a culture, that's describing a stereotype. And it gets worse, and this is probably going to be long, just fair warning. Because what is a big part of black culture is, in fact, Christianity. And even though, unfortunately, church attendance across the board is dropping, black Americans still...
What you're about to see is called white deflection. And it gets so diabolical when a preacher, somebody who needs to understand what is humanity, somebody who should be acting as an example, is being used to perpetuate what is called white deflection. White deflection is the act of doing something wrong and you being called out, but after being called out, pretend like it's not you, and you transfer the problem to another person. It means that you have removed the problem out of you, and now you envisioning your problems towards somebody else. That's what we call the deflection. And so trying to understand this concept, and what even makes it much worse is that this is a preacher, this is a person that the world is looking up to. He's trying to describe black people as people who are in the dark ages, people who are so uncivilized, people who are so uncouth, people that are meant to do wrong things. But when you get to look at back history and try to envision all these things, you get to understand that everything that he's saying is talking about themselves. Because every definition that he's giving is giving it about themselves. It's not talking about black people. If you just kid. And this is just ridiculous, right? Because the laughs that black people are having is that this is a person who is
Rooted in white supremacy. That's their Jesus. Swinging a sword, killing his enemies. In the book of Revelations, this is the Jesus supposed to come back for the Jews. That ain't me saying anything wrong. That's in the book. That's in the book. This Jesus believes in supply side economics. Feed the poor, they better get up there and pull themselves up by their sandal strap.